Hey yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy, AceoxReacts! And I'm back. I'm back with another reaction. This time I'm going to react to Finding Creepy Things Hidden in Family-Friendly Video Games, in parentheses, Iceberg Explained, by Gambado Gaming. That's a long title. That's a long title. I don't know how I'm gonna fit that into my title, but I guess we'll see, or I'll see. Yeah. Gambado Gaming. Never saw a video by him, so I'm excited to see what his video style of making is, or her, or them. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even played a second of the video, so I don't know what gender they are. So yeah, I'm just gonna say they until then. Yeah, finding creepy things hidden in family-friendly video games. That's right up my alley. I really like that sort of stuff. I think some of it is just insane. For example, like the Scooby-Doo game jump scare. That's just no. That's very damn. That's very insane. But yeah, I like when it's actually hidden. What I remember is, for example, spooky sounds. Really unnerving soundscapes in Splatoon. I remember the original Xbox dashboard-ish thing when suddenly the Apollo transmission thing just started playing. What else? The Hell Valley sky trees in Super Mario Galaxy. Yeah, and generally stuff like that. I really like that sort of stuff. Yeah, I like horror in places where no horror should be, and creepy things definitely count towards horror in my opinion. So yeah, I'm excited. I don't know about the Iceberg. I saw in the pinned comment that they didn't cover the entire thing, so there is apparently a part 2, and depending on, you know, how well this is done, we might watch it as well. Yeah. So I'm gonna cut my yapping short here. Just one more thing I'd like to mention is I made some small changes to my setup here in my cool VTuber recording studio, and yeah, if you've been watching videos on this channel, point out what I changed and win nothing. Hell yeah! Alright, so before we start, like always, go into the video description, click the first link in the video description under the credits tab to get to the original video by Gambado Gaming. Leave him a like, leave him a comment, tell him finding creepy things hidden in family-friendly video games. Like what? Like me? I'm so funny, haha! Tell him that. And obviously subscribe to them. Like I said, I haven't seen videos by them yet, so I don't know what to expect, but I'm sure they do a good job. So I scrolled up, I zoomed out, let's get this show on the road. So without further ado, here we go! Yeah.
Now I love sports, but you gotta play the game that's...
I don't.
Same with computer and video game.
Oh yeah, the Zelda enemy stuff. What is it? Gigas?
Play the game that's right for you.
Gigas? In Earthbound?
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It is I, Gambado Gaming. Today we're...
Hello, I said his name apparently wrong. What? Gambado Gaming? Gambado Gaming. There we go. Damn.
They're Iceberg, and this one comes from icebergcharts.com. So you know it's not from an idiot like me. Video games tend to deliver...
It's from the real thing.
Advertises. You know, if it's the rated E for everyone game, chances are you aren't going to be seeing any of this in it. But sometimes, whether purposeful or not, some things seem to slip through the cracks and we get disturbing stuff like this in a game that is usually all sunshines and rainbows. There's a lot of this.
I mean, no. I mean, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. Those two games, I don't know in which one it was, but those two games aren't really sunshine and rainbows. Especially Majora's Mask is just dark as fuck. While, you know, Ocarina of Time is not that dark, but still not really happy-go-lucky game. Like, fucking Super Mario, yahoo! No, it has some really dark undertones, so I wouldn't call them sunshine and rainbows, but you do you. You do you.
Throughout gaming history, and today I want to break down the disturbing things found in family-friendly video games Iceberg. I'm going to be
hell yeah.
well-known
I'm excited
stuff in the early layers, and I will actually be
Alright, okay, then let's see real quick. We got Unagi? Super Mario? What? No, I don't know that. I know about the piano in Super Mario 64, Hell Valley Sky Trees, like I mentioned, Disc 11 and 13 in Minecraft. Yeah, that's an Enderman introduction thing. Shadow Temple, Ocarina of Time. Was that with the white hand or whatever? No, white hand was. Was that by Pokemon? I don't know. River Twigs? Bad? I don't know that. What else? Game Over Donkey Kong? I don't know that either.
Be combining layers for the sake of the structure of the video. I wonder what kind of stuff we'll see when we pull back this foil lid on this baked goodness of creepiness and disturbing content. Come here, little.
That doesn't look good.
Slice of E-rated lasagna. Guess what's in your fucking nightmares?
Oh yeah, the dolphin thing. Oof, Jesus, man, that's, you know, the jump scare part in the dolphin game just spooked me back then. I don't know what I played it on. It was one of the very old consoles of my father. My father stole them. This is not a joke, by the way. He stole them when my mom and my dad separated. He just stole them, even though they were my mom's consoles. So yeah. But I got to play at least a little bit on them every now and then whenever I was forced to visit my dad, which was not a good time, but yeah. And I think I played Dolphin on one of them. And I remember I jumped out the water and there's this jump scare, you know, where you get sucked into a weird ass thing, and that scared the shit out of me. And I remember something about the very weird alien boss at the end of the game that really gave me nightmares. Yeah, so Dolphin is still, in my opinion, the most shocking example of very inappropriately creepy things hidden in very family-friendly games. I mean, you play as Echo and you think like, that's so, yeah, babies can play that game. That's so cute. That's so wholesome. And then this shit happens. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane how they got away with that. I don't know.
Majora's Mask has eluded me for quite a while, and I've never taken the time to beat it. However, I do know the game and its infamy, at least in terms of the darker tone it took on for the series, and this tone is nowhere more present than in the ending of the game. Well, at least the ending if you don't do what you need to do in the allotted time.
Yeah, everyone dies.
72 hours run out without playing.
The moon crashes into Earth.
Game over will play out, which is known as the Terminum Apocalypse. This is when that big scary moon fuck in the sky will finally crash down into the clock tower in the middle of Terminus, sending a devastating shockwave throughout all of the surrounding areas, turning everything it hits into fiery ash. Sounds familiar, huh? I'm sure this isn't a reference to anything that only happened 55 years before the game's release. Totally not. Anyway, this is a pretty...
Yeah, totally not.
Gotta be up there with one of the most things. Most likely the most dark.
It's really depressing and dark.
I'm not super familiar with all the games in the series, so maybe in one Link commits war crimes or something. I don't know. To me it seems like the dark.
Not as far as I know.
No. Luckily, if a disaster event occurs, the game will simply reset to the previous time you played the Song of Time, and all progress is reset to that point. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather, you know, sit down and chat with Resetti or look at beat up and bruised Donkey Kong for the rest of the time than experience this as a kid back in the day.
Yeah. I did not experience it as a kid because I didn't play Nintendo 64 games too much back then. I was more a PlayStation kid, but yeah, of course I heard about that and later I played it, and yeah, it's not a good time. It's not a good time. I never really played. I played some of it, but not entirely through Majora's Mask, simply because I don't like being timed, you know. That's why I haven't played any of the Dead Rising games. I mean, I played some of 4, but that was not good. I played 3 because I did not even know that there's a timer in there. I mean, I pretty much almost finished the entire thing. Also with a dude, we just ran around and killed zombies and collected some stuff. But yeah, and then at some point it was game over because the invisible timer ran out basically, and I did not know of that. So after that, I did not continue playing the game because I did not want to restart, and that's also the reason why I never played any of the other Dead Rising games, because I don't like the countdown stuff, you know? I wanna explore stuff at my pace, and Majora's Mask has, unfortunately, one of these countdowns as well. Yeah, so never really played it. Like I said, I played some of it, but not really actively. But of course, I know a lot about it because I just find it fascinating how many dark things and themes and stuff is in this game, even though it's a kid's game. It's great. It's great and insane at the same time. Hell yeah. Great and insane at the same time. Does that remind you of someone? That's right, my small dick. Hell yeah, A6 is back with the small dick again. I'll never stop talking about this beautiful thing. I don't want to brag, but I think my small penis is a work of wonder. It's the 30th world wonder. Yes, so get on your knees and worship that small penis. Hell yeah, bitch. Ah. Zero? What? Kirby Dream Land 3.
It's the epitome of just happy haha land video game feelings, you know? Usually if you pick up a Kirby game, you're looking for a good platformer that won't present a huge challenge.
Yeah.
Especially if you're picking up one.
Yeah, that's
recently.
quite easy.
However, even something as bright and colorful as Kirby has its own dark, shadowy corners, and some of those can be seen in the designs of certain enemies. Most of the enemies that litter Dreamland and other areas are usually puffy and cute like Kirby himself. However, some just come off as straight up disturbing. These disturbing designs
giant eyeball
bosses, and it's especially present in Kirby's Dream Land 3 on Super Nintendo. The final boss of the game is thought to be this dark matter enemy in a larger boss form, but upon defeating that enemy, the true final boss known as Zero comes out. Both of these designs
an eyeball
as it takes on this huge singular eye aesthetic that can be found littered throughout the Kirby universe. I don't know if there's a specific phobia for huge eyes or not.
Jesus, okay. I was about to say, you know, that stuff, I don't find that creepy, but now that he showed the weirdest picture, okay, I agree. Yeah, there is something really disturbing about giant eyeballs. So yeah, I stand corrected, even though I haven't even had the chance to say that it doesn't creep me out. So shut up.
Suicide Squad with a giant starfish. Yeah, where they kind of bust into Homeboy's eyes.
Ugh.
Anyway, this boss is known as Zero, is the ruler of the dark matter enemies, and just straight up start spawning them and using them as ammo against Kirby. Yeah, that's right.
Damn, that's dark.
Just off thinking was the final boss is now the true final boss.
It's just ammo.
Idiot. Would you think this was Kitty Kitty Stupid World, huh? Oh, but you think this is Kirby. This is Kirby. It's Happy Dreamland, right? You just got hustled, idiot. Where's Uncle Phil at? Uncle Phil in your ass.
Hey, yo.
Zero, his eye will just straight up burst out of the rest of his body as a last ditch effort. And man,
what the fuck?
For a Kirby game.
Yeah.
I know that's technically probably not blood, eye guts, and whatever, but damn.
But it looks like it.
It's definitely a cool moment, and it adds to the final fight, but you can't say this guy in this boss fight isn't a little creepy.
Jesus.
Super Mario 64
again?
At this point should be called disturbing content that doesn't actually exist 64. I'd argue the overall aura of the game is off. And
was that an editing mistake?
The same emotions I get from seeing liminal images or something, but it's still present, and I'm aware of it. There are more obvious examples too, like the deep dark battle.
I think it was an editing mistake. It said Zero Kirby Dream Land 3 again. So, yeah. happens to the best of us. But apparently we're talking about Mario 64, and he said he's not gonna cover the well-known stuff, so I don't know what he's gonna... Is he gonna talk about the eel? He's gonna talk about the eel, isn't he? It's freaky, but I don't think it's creepy. No, I disagree with pretty much the entire world on that, but yeah. Underwater stuff can be creepy, but I don't know. I think the eel in Super Mario 64 is just goofy. It just looks goofy. I don't like it when it is in this weird crevice sticking out every now and then. That's what I don't like. It reminds me of the sand snapper or something like that. There's a fish that disguises itself inside sand or something and then just jumps out and grabs something and pulls it back under the sand and shit and suffocates it and stuff like that. That's what I really don't like. I really don't like those types of sea creatures. They are predators and I'm the prey.
Bowser laugh that greets Mario at the entrance when he first walks in the castle. How about the obvious and piano enemies that everybody's afraid of?
Okay, so he's not gonna talk about it.
The castle. The Bowser one is pretty creepy, especially considering that it's basically jump scaring you on your way to the fight with the. However, an even creepier example is the basement of the castle. I already hate basements for obvious reasons, but especially in Peach's castle, man. In a place that is already huge, definitely eerie, the basement is the last place I want to be.
Yeah.
Luckily, though,
the fire painting and
a creepy basement, but it does have some creepy winding hallways. And at the end of one of these hallways is a creepy image waiting to scare unaware players. I actually remember the first time I turned this corner and saw this painting for Lethal Lava Land.
I remember too.
Out of my second story window, hoping to crack my own neck. And I played this shit when I was 5. Anyway, this painting is definitely the creepiest painting in the game, in my opinion, and it fits.
Yeah, definitely the creepiest in the game, but
this face in the fire, dude. I was looking for faces in fires anytime I went camping or some.
I mean, isn't that the fireball? Wasn't there a fireball? Probably not in this game, but in one of the other games, right? A fireball enemy thing. That's what I thought it represented, at least. But yeah, I remember I turned a corner as a kid with while I was playing with a childhood friend. My childhood friend had the Nintendo 64, and I had a PlayStation 1, so we took turns, played some of her games on her console and some of my games on my console every now and then, and just, you know, kept switching back and forth. And I remember we turned the corner and that stuff just spooked me for a second, because I was like, what is that face? And it's in the distance and stuff like that. So, unexpected, but it did not really scare me. It was just a little a little just a little bit.
Shit, for years after this. It obviously isn't that creepy nowadays, but for someone who's just stumbling upon it for the first time, it can be pretty shocking.
It's unexpected,
eerie, bro.
Yeah. Red screen of death. I don't.
Red ring of death on the Xbox 360, right? That was a hardware error where the Xbox would basically brick, and the only indication of life left in the system would be a red glowing ring that would surround the power button. It was weird.
Let me tell you something. I had an Xbox, an original one with the white one, you know, and it actually lasted, what was it, 20? No, not 20 years. Nah, it wasn't that much. But it was at least more than 10 years. Quite a bit more than 10 years. When was the original console released? Was it 2005 or was it the PS3? Either way, it's been a very long time, and it survived many moons, to the point that no one believed me when I told them that it still worked. And then I sold it at GameStop when GameStop was still a thing, and yeah, it was gone. But I still have one, and that one actually red ringed of death. But I had one that survived. Damn, god damn it, isn't that something, huh? It's almost like I'm a god, and it's just my presence alone sometimes saves consoles from dying. No, but what I unfortunately had was the Y-Lot, or whatever it was called, the yellow light of death of the original PS3. That unfortunately happened to me. That's more rare than the red ring of death, because the red ring of death apparently happened to all of them, you know, pretty much 99% of them, while the PS3 Y-Lot was rarer, much rarer than that. And unfortunately, that shit happened to me. Made me really fucking mad, because it was the very original, and yeah, it pissed me off. It was the fat model and stuff like that, and it's good old times. And I'm pretty sure it was also the model where you could play PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, no, PlayStation 2 games, because PlayStation 1 games for some reason work on all of them, but PlayStation 2 doesn't. But there was one model that played PS2 games, and I had that until the fucking Y-Loader happened. It's fucking not based at all. Fucking shit, man. So yeah, I experienced some of these things too, but still, I had one Xbox that did not red ring of death, that did not end up having that, and that's a rare thing, and that's what I'm proud of. And I sold that console. God damn it, man.
By many players, but if we kick it back to a generation beforehand, there was something even more disturbing happening on the PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah.
If you were to insert a disc
that happened,
read, the PS2 would boot up
a lot to
in which it would tell you to insert a format disc. This doesn't seem all that disturbing, but when we start to dissect the screen, we can easily see why some gamers describe it as one of the most terrifying experiences of their childhood. And listen, I never had a PS2 growing up. I was a GameCube kid. But I know all too well the anger that came.
Oh, but I love it too.
That was too scratched and fucked up to be read by the game system.
Yeah, and this question mark appears and stuff like that.
System you're playing on. It usually means something is wrong with your disc, or the disc isn't compatible with the system you're playing on. Either way, these fucking suck to see. Therefore, when Sony decided to add in a little extra zest, a little extra ambiance to their RSOD screen, people seem to have remembered.
It was unnerving.
I'll never forget. The screen takes players away from the somber, calm boot.
It's just messed up.
Background while ambient acoustics play in the background. However, something about the background noise and the fact that this feels like you fucked up trying to put in a disc work made this screen come off as disturbing for many.
Yeah, for me it was disturbing because you could never say when that sort of stuff happened. Of course, if the disc was scratched a lot, then chances were 50-50 that the screen would appear, or at least it felt like it. But it always felt like it came out of nowhere, you know? And that's the unexpected creepiness, you know, because if you don't expect it, you put it in your game, you expect it to work, especially if you did not put it out, you know, if you played it and you didn't even take it out of the console and just restarted the console or started it back on some other time, and you didn't do anything with this CD. It was just sitting inside the PS2, and for some reason this shit popped up. That was frustrating and scary at the fucking same time, because it just felt so random, and it really felt like damn. There's this Trojan ransomware virus thing that happened to me that claims it's from the government and stuff like that, and that you illegally downloaded music and videos and stuff like that, and that's why your stuff is locked, so you gotta send us your money. That shit happened to me, and it felt exactly like those things, you know, like a dumb kid thinking they fucked up, even though it's just, you know, a virus in the case of what I'm talking about. But in this case, it felt the same, like a spooky, you fucked up, now you're gonna pay. You pay the price. Go to jail. Go to jail. Stuff like that, you know? And that's what it felt like. That's why this screen will always stick to me as well. Yes. And it's justified. That shit was horrifying. Horrifying. You had a game, especially when you were a kid and had played games on the PlayStation 2, because you just couldn't afford a new game. If your CD was fucking not working anymore, or God forbid, the goddamn laser in the console for some reason got damaged and didn't work properly anymore, and this shit happened a lot of times, it's just, you know, you couldn't replace it. So that's what made it even more unnerving, because if that screen pops up, you're gonna lose a game in your collection, and you cannot afford to replace it because you're a kid, you don't have any money. That was the fear of mine, at least, whenever this shit popped up. Yeah, it was not a good time. I don't know why Sony decided to make this screen very sinister and foreboding, but they did, and it's not cool. Yeah.
I think it's a time and place thing. Obviously, if I go scratch my 17th copy of Jak and Daxter and try to play it and see the screen, you know, I'm not going to be shitting myself out of fear or anything.
It's more of frustration.
What this comment is saying. If you were young enough and it was late enough at night, you know, I could see this unsettling me to my core. Ooh, I saw the red screen of death on PS2. I might not sleep ever again.
But I think it's more like the loss of your Game Boy camera face. Yeah, I know that one.
Accessory that was pretty impressive.
It's creepy.
Releasing in the late 90s, the accessory would allow
I had that.
to use their Game Boy as a camera. No shit, right?
Or rather, I didn't have that, but a friend of mine had that, and you know, his stuff was my stuff, but my stuff wasn't his. I remember we were on a school field trip, and he brought the Game Boy and the Game Boy camera with him, and he let me use it for a bit. I never liked it. Gotta admit, I wasn't impressed with it at all. I did not like it. I thought it looked ass, and the controls were ass, and I didn't see the appeal, to be honest. But I was a small kid. Nowadays, I think it's impressive that they managed to make a camera work on that goddamn Game Boy. I mean, the Game Boy is like what, 5% of the strength of an outdated, weak RAM stick nowadays? That's impressive. But back then, I did not appreciate it. I thought it was gimmicky and janky and not cool. It was just, no. And also the stuff you could do in the Game Boy thing, application, I guess, that came with it, where you can, you know, take a picture and then draw over it and stuff like that, and use stickers or something. I didn't like it. It was too limited, it was too janky, it was not cool, but it was creepy as fuck, because it's, you know, aside from those weird ass faces that sometimes pop up in this application thing, it's just, you know, taking a picture of yourself even look almost as creepy as them. So yeah. I don't know what they were thinking, but they were thinking something. I don't know what. No one knows what. But it had to be something. Not something, something. Something they thought about when they made that. Definitely. They had some thought going on in their brain while they did that. No one knows what thought. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What only matters is that they thought. That they can think. That's something I can't. That's why I find it scary. Humans that can think? What? No, not good, not good. Everyone should be like me, unable to form a proper sentence even inside my own head. The world would be a much better place. We'd be praying to stones on the ground because we thought that they're gods because they look kind of shiny. That would be the world if everyone was like me. Now, tell me, that doesn't sound appealing to you? I mean, it sounds like paradise to me. Surely it sounds like paradise to you as well, right? Instead of making wars over actual problems, you know, people would just commit war crimes against each other because they thought that some dude was looking at them in a weird way, even though they just, you know, had crossed eyes or something. That would be the world if everyone was like me. It sounds like paradise, making wars for no reason and not even being able to think about that sort of stuff, you know. Not a single thought behind our eyes. That would be perfect. Hell yeah.
Print the images off into real life images. Obviously,
yeah, I remember that. It was
make every picture look like it was taken in heaven with a phone from like 5
It's impressive that it worked on the Game Boy.
It's a really cool little gimmick thing that added to the Game Boy's illustrious history. The camera came with an app, and within the app, it allowed you to take pictures, obviously, but it also came with a few mini games and a bunch of small Easter eggs and stuff.
But it felt so janky.
It was located in the shoot menu of the game. If you go to this menu, a mock RPG player choice menu will pop up, and you have a typical settings you would in RPG like items, magic, and even a run button. Run buttons in RPGs, you know, they're usually used to escape an encounter a player doesn't want to be in. This is rather popular in the Pokemon series, and see it referenced here.
I rarely use it.
You click the run button, it takes players to a weird screen depicting what looks like the continent of Africa. This image seems pretty harmless, but if you spam clicking run,
there's this you can't escape or something like that.
To appear.
I enjoy destroying lives.
It will show a series of images.
Alright, cool for you, buddy.
Which they have drawn
good for you.
Faces on their photographs. However, this is a company with the eerie text that reads, "What are you running from?" Players very uncomfortable with viewing the Easter egg. And I can't fucking blame them. Look at this shit.
I mean, you also don't expect it to happen, so...
Images to test the camera software. In reality, viewing these low-quality images along with the chiptune music and the eerie message...
It's kind of goofy.
Nintendo's most disturbing secrets. This was definitely added with good intentions, but it has become infamous because so many people had unlocked the core memory much later in life and found it much too disturbing. Have you seen this Nintendo employee in your dreams? You're not alone. Call this number.
This man. Yeah, I think it's in a similar vein as... maybe not. Okay, maybe not. In Sonic CD, there's this sound test menu, and there's this really weird screen that that shit haunts me still to this day. But I think in the case of the Game Boy camera stuff, they just were playing around, and it came off as creepier than it was intended. You know, typical childhood show stuff. You know, you watch a child-friendly show, and there's this weird kind of off-putting looking character or something, and that for some reason scares you. For me, it was... I mean, mine was justified. Let's be honest. Mine was from that SpongeBob episode with Nosferatu. Nosferatu still haunts me to this day, and I think mine's justified. But then there are, like, I don't know, the goofy looking walrus? Was it the weird looking walrus from Pingu? You know, the noot. That looked freaky, but not really creepy in my opinion. But yeah, for some reason that sticks with you as a child, and you think it's scary, even though I guess most of them weren't supposed to be scary. But yeah, the mind of a child does what the mind of a child does. Yes. Taiko. I never played the console versions. I played Taiko on the Ozu, so this might be new to me. So let's find out. Taiko. I can't really imagine what they put in the game that deserves a spot on this list. But before I continue, I gotta take a short break. I'm talking way too much, so I gotta take a quick vape break because I'm addicted. I'm addicted like a dick to dick juice. Yeah, hell yeah. See you in a second, bitches. Well, I'm back, and good thing I took a break, because as soon as I stopped the recording, my grandma and my dog came to visit, and I wouldn't have heard them if I kept recording. So, life does things I don't understand, because I don't even know what 1 + 1 is. It's 17, right? 1 + 1? Yeah, 23. What's 9 + 10? 21. Oh, I'm old. Oh. All right, let's continue. Let's see what this taiko thing is about. Cause I love taiko. I love it. I fucking love it. But like I said, I never played the console versions. I played the knockoff Ozu version. I still play to this day. I'm really good at it. Fuck you. Oh, I'm stuck at 6.10. 6.10. Yeah. 6.30. I'd say 6.30 stars. It's not good. But I'm getting better. So let's find out. I have no clue what this is about. So yeah.
I'm not super familiar with the Taiko no Tatsujin games. They seem like a form of Donkey Konga.
What was the pronunciation?
That series and dominated the market as one of the only drum-based rhythm games, I think.
It's the best.
For their upbeat, pun intended, nature and overall light-hearted order.
Yeah.
However, in the Taiko no
Except some songs.
there is a disturbing secret hidden within the game's files. There's a total of 70 songs in the game, but there is technically another unplayable song located in the game's files. However, I don't know if anyone would really want to play this song, as it's one of the most jumbled up, eerie songs I've ever heard in a video game. It starts with a dull sound of footsteps followed by screaming and a rendition of Wrath of Requiem. I'll play a quick snippet right here
the
so you
hell?
get a better idea of what we're dealing with here.
What the fuck? Stop! That's copyright! That's probably copyright! Stop it! God damn it! Stop! Stop it! Stop! Stop! Stop right now!
Pretty unnerving, right? And definitely out of place for a game that looks like this.
Yes. No.
Some sort of satanic.
No, some of the harder songs are just insane. I mean, and also they are insane, but I found out that the higher difficulty, the songs in Taiko games, the official ones, are quite insane, but it makes sense. I mean, it's a rhythm game. You need crazy songs to make crazy difficulties, and it just devolves into speedcore. On Ozu, it's even worse, because at the complete skill ceiling, once you reach the absolute limit, it's just noise core and like stuff like extra tone, and it's insane. It just sounds at that point like your PC is glitching, the audio is glitching, like repeating in a really fast motion, like and you play like like that. I should be a voice actor. I'm so good at it, as you can see. Yeah. As in pressing buttons. That's damn genius. I'm a genius. But yeah, no, I heard that some of the official Taiko games have some really insane songs, because, like I said, it's a rhythm game. You need insane songs to make insanely difficult difficulties. Otherwise, it's not a rhythm game if you don't play in the rhythm of the boogie of the beat. Now, what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat, because me, my crew, and my friends are trying to move your feet. Yeah! I had to learn this goddamn song in music class in school. It's still stuck in my brain. I mean, I knew it before that, but we had to learn the lyrics, specifically the lyrics, and keep rapping to the playback. God damn it, school. Fucking school, man. We had to learn the flute. Learn to play the flute. I hated it. I fucking hated it. No one wants to play the flute. Maybe a pan flute or something, but not the goddamn stupid ass recorder. That's fucking stupid. It just sounds like no, and it's not fun, and there's not much you can do with that. I mean, it has like what, six holes maybe. It's dumb. I hate it. I don't like the recorder. I hate it. Fucking, I don't know what they were thinking when they forced us to do that, to learn that shit. Yeah, I don't know.
Song that devs hid within the game's files, to have a little drum off with Satan like Guitar Hero 3. In reality, it was an Easter egg that was just likely included to tease at a future entry into the series. This was only meant to reward those who did the work to uncover the file, as it was buried very deep within the game's files. The file is only referred to as 1STPAI, and there is no reference or explanation other than the name. We are left to speculate just what this song is doing here. But man, if it doesn't go hard right around this part.
Yeah! That's the type of white noise I fall asleep to. Layer 45, let's see. Be afraid of the dark.
Yoshi's Craft
I don't know.
is one of my least favorite Yoshi games.
Okay. Yeah, I never played it.
Hey, at least it's not New Yoshi's Island, right? But yeah, in the ranking of Yoshi games, this thing is...
I only played the original Yoshi's Island.
So probably a D. The game has a lot of issues like the difficulty, theming, and even music, which is just pathetic for a Yoshi game. I much prefer me a Woolly World if I'm playing a modern Yoshi. The gameplay was at least still there for Crafted World. Most of the game is the lighthearted Yoshi platforming you could come to expect from a Yoshi game at this point. Well, at least until the later part of the game. At some point, you will close in on the final few levels of the game and come across a level known as Be Afraid of the Dark. This level tasks Yoshi with walking through a desolate town where most of the enemies are axe-wielding clowns.
That's kind of serious.
Down, dude. Don't rally or something.
Hey, look, it's me.
I'm going. Fuck this shit. Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. Run him over!
Also, one of the
break his legs!
These enemies can basically two-shot Yoshi. One swipe from these clowns will cut your hearts right in half, so you really want to just try to avoid these guys. This ends up turning this level...
It sounds kind of dark for a Yoshi game.
Through a desolate, abandoned Gotham where, you know, Joker won and killed Batman and sent out his axe-wielding Joker minions to kill anything...
I'm the Joker, baby!
It's not that bad, but the difficult
the monkey!
will make some...
Dude, justice for that monkey! God damn it, they laughed at him! They laughed at him! They made fun of him! Others fucking humans! Poor monkey, man. But I saw a video of a really creepy looking orangutan that was smiling into the camera and stuff like that, like he was planning some devious shit. And I saw it linked to this video. It's probably not the same monkey, but still, I imagine it is. And he's still planning to get revenge on all the humans that laughed at him to his face. To his face! Imagine the audacity to not only laugh at this poor, beautiful baby monkey, but to laugh at his face! Laugh directly in his face! That's damn. Poor monkey, man. Justice for that. I don't know his name. Harambe 2.0. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call him now. Yeah. Nah, but yeah, I've never played all the Yoshi games. Like I said, I played the Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo, but that's about it. And I think that the Super Nintendo one is the best. It's so good, so good. The music is so good. The graphic style is so good. The gameplay is so good. It's everything is just good. Except Baby Mario's crying. That's just annoying. Like the it's like a really annoying siren. Get your heart pumping because you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose if I don't catch him real quick. Damn. Yeah, but no, I never played the new Yoshi game, so I have nothing to say about this. So I'm still excited to see what he's gonna talk about because so far I don't know the axe-wielding clowns. That's I mean a bit dark, but not really creepy, I'd say. So hopefully he's gonna mention something else because if not, then this does not deserve to be on these layers, this deep down on the stupid ass iceberg. Yeah.
Feel like it's kind of out of place for the game. Listen, I'll always take the added difficulty, especially in these types of games. I saw a post that compared this level to the Stop and Go station in Donkey Kong Country, and I actually think it's a great comparison. If you look at the level as a stealth level, it can actually make you squirm a little bit whenever you run across one of these clowns, because there are segments where you'll have to get into their direct line of sight and dodge them, kind of. It also doesn't help that the music and atmosphere around the level is just kind of eerie, especially for a Yoshi game.
It's weird.
I would love to see a full...
Damn! Did you hear that? Let's play that again. That was peak music. Yeah. Oh! All these bitches want to suck dick!
I would love to see a full-on...
Like I said, that is peak music. You may not understand it because it's too high intellectual for you, you know? On a high plane of intellectualism. But this was peak music. Even God would blush when hearing that perfection.
Horror game by Nintendo, but, you know, leaning into the weirdness of this level and other Easter eggs we've seen thus far. That'd be so cool.
Alright. I still think it does not deserve this far down on the
One of my
iceberg.
favorite games in Nintendo's vast library. It's a
The
unique
Blackout.
game.
I guess when the...
I feel like the first one still hasn't been recreated in the newer ones.
Oh yeah, the Blackout. Instead of listening, I'm thinking about the title. That's me. The Blackout in the first Luigi's Mansion game. That spooked me back then. I didn't expect it, and suddenly the lights are out, and all your work was for nothing until you turn on the power, you know. But that was spooky, yeah. Ghosts everywhere. Yeah, and you're panicking, running down to the basement to turn on the fucking power back. Or maybe he's gonna talk about the shadow. But there was a bug. There was a light bug, as far as I know, confirmed. So yeah, that has been debunked. So if it's about that, then no, it's not. It's not. No. But the blackout itself, I think, in the game was scary because you had to traverse the entire areas you already, you know, traversed through and turn on the lights and stuff like that. And you're constantly hunted down by ghosts, left, right, and center, as you make a mad dash towards the basement. It's good shit, good shit.
Mansion 3 felt more like a step in the right direction, but maybe I just have nostalgia-tinted glasses on whenever I see the first.
I only played the first.
Luigi's Mansion was the first of its kind when it came out.
I think they can't top it. They cannot.
At that point, we knew about
cannot even get close to it at all.
Even for 3D Mario games. So when Luigi's Mansion came out and you couldn't jump, you knew some shit was about to get fucked.
Damn.
Boom, you're in the mansion for one night playing Ghostbusters as you hunt down not only your brother Mario, but all the ghosts plaguing the house. And it doesn't hurt that you get some cashola, some casserola along the way. One of the most jarring things in the game.
Damn, this game was so good.
Beat the third boss in the game, Boolossus. After you complete the boss, you are then tasked with climbing all the way back up to the roof after Egad rips you away to get the Boolossus painting from Luigi. You know, he's got to get his greasy fingers on that immediately. Then you use the key
Hell yeah.
to open the locked door in the Boolossus area, except when you attempt to open the
and
door,
then
light
tragedy happens.
sending everything into a pitch black frenzy. This, of course, means that all of your progress thus far is reset. Well, at least in regards to
temporarily
in rooms anyway. Due to power being out, you can no longer be safe in a room without multiple ghosts spawning and
that
wrecking your
was
shit.
so spooky.
This is to visit the basement and flip the breaker back on. So here we go. Walk all the way back down to the basement, you stupid asshole. You thought this game didn't have fluff in it? You got yourself wrong, buddy. This walk is one of the most nerve-wracking.
It is kind of cheap, but
because you know
still good.
Fear that you'll get pummeled by the ghosts in the next room. There's also a portrait ghost that is only able to be caught during the blackout, known as Uncle
the
Ridley.
butler.
He's completely optional, but a pretty cool little side mission if you feel like going down there. While the blackout doesn't last very long in terms of gameplay, it's pretty impactful because it makes the player feel like all of their work thus far has been undone and reset. And it also feels like
that was nerve-wracking, especially when you totally believe that this is it. This is it, Luigi. Yeah, when that happened the first time I played the game as a kid, I honest to God thought that is it. All my work was for nothing, and this is gonna be the rest of the game. But then I figured out you're supposed to turn back the power in the basement, turn it back on, and yeah. But for a second, I totally believed that this is it. This is it. This is what it's gonna be like from then on. Thank God it wasn't, because that would have been frustrating as hell. Because at that point, ghosts spawn like insane, as you probably saw in the footage. They spawn in like 10 ghosts a time. This is damn, too much. You cannot beat that. But that's what made it so nerve-wracking in my opinion. Hold on, I got a drink for my Coca-Cola. You know, the one you can. Hold on, there. The one you can see over there. Yeah, I put that in. And I told you to point out those things, but now I spoiled one. So yeah, fuck you. Yes, bitch. Let's continue.
Huge pain in the ass as you were just about to enter the next area of the game. Some might call it fluff, some might call it filler, but I call it blackout.
Yeah, I call it peak cinema. Alright, what's up? What's next? I meant
Paper Mario the
Toad murder scene.
Already plays around with paranormal.
Oh yeah,
themes
yeah.
of the game.
I remember that as well.
Other RPGs of its kind. It also has crude humor to boot, but it gets a little more dark when you go to the Japanese release of the game and
and there's this
be seen in Rogue.
Yeah, the chalk
area of the game. There's
a chalk thing.
You can enter by going through the back door.
Blood.
In international releases of the game, the room would have scattered papers strewn everywhere. But in the Japanese version, there is a
had to censor it, unfortunately.
You see a chalk outline of what looks like to be a toad with a blood spatter.
It's so dark.
The papers behind him.
It's so dark, man.
An active crime scene Mario just fell into, and unfortunately, it was the ending of that poor toad's life. Likely, this was added to show how
crazy
the residents of Rogueport are, or it could have been added as a dark developer gag of some kind, seeing as it isn't exactly in plain sight. You know, after the 15,
it totally does not fit the
code you see in the game. You might want to see one get capped. I kind of get it.
Yeah, but that's it did not fit the
to remove it
vibe of the game.
But now we know a toad has officially been murdered in a gruesome way in a real Mario game. Listen, stay out of Rogueport, guys. I heard Luigi got five knuckles shuffled on his way to Podley's Juice Bar.
Damn. No, but it's, yeah, that is dark. What? Lewd
I
images?
don't know much about the SpongeBob video game.
Oh, okay. I know what he's going to talk about.
There are quite a few of them. SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge for PlayStation 1 is one of the
Yeah,
earliest
I never played any except
the video game realm. This
I played SpongeBob the movie game and the Battle for Bikini Bottom. Those two I really liked. I like especially Battle for Bikini Bottom the most. And I tried to play. What was it? Was it Ready Set Go or something like that? It was like a movie maker-ish SpongeBob game for the PC. I did not like that. And after that, I gave up on SpongeBob games completely until the rehydrated version came out for Big Battle for Bikini Bottom. But yeah, I know what he's gonna talk about. There were some really extremely inappropriate drawings in one of the games, hidden in one of the games. I think it's not accessible. It's just someone put the files on the CD and stuff like that. But it has no place in games like that. That's way too far. It's insane. You'll see in a second. Hopefully he shows them. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
was a rather unassuming game and likely fell under a lot of people's radars. However, upon the closing of the development office, we were gifted some assets in which revealed a lot of the development process of the game. While this entry isn't exactly creepy or disturbing, it still contains content not suitable for children, so it still counts. In the files of the game, there are some files with a surname Naughty followed by a number. There are 3 of these images, all of which are just a little too raunchy to show fully on YouTube, but I think you can get the idea. At first, I assumed these were developer doodles that were accidentally left in the game assets, but looking through other files in the game, we can kind of see the developers weren't exactly professional about how they treated the back end. They kind of just used it as a dumping ground for jokes and raunching naming schemes and such. For example, the idea sheet in which devs would write down ideas to be added to the game was deemed SpongeBob's shit list, which is pretty hilarious to me. This is how boys would handle a project, especially when it's dealing with something like SpongeBob. I mean, but where I think they might have taken it too far was the image of SpongeBob plowing Patrick in the ass. I don't know. It may be just me. Obviously,
it's a little too far.
Playing the game, but the balls to leave this in a game and expect nobody to sweep the files for it is something else, man. Kids or not, I don't think anyone really needed to see this BDSM stuff.
That's
what the fuck is this? Was this really gonna make it
disgusting,
guys? Really? Whose sick fantasy is this?
Mine! It's mine! Patrick banging Sandy? That's my fantasy, bitch. But that's way too far putting these games. No, it wasn't in the game. It was shipped with the game, in the game files, but it wasn't used as far as I know anywhere in the game and wasn't planned to be used. But still, no, it has no right to be there. It reminds me of the South Park, the first one that was a Christmas special or something like that, and it was shipped alongside, on the disc on a Tiger Woods game, I guess, golf, and that was a huge controversy, so they had to recall the copies and remove the South Park short. But yeah, it's crazy that they actually got away with the SpongeBob stuff. That's damn. The world did not need to see any of that, especially the BDSM SpongeBob one. That's just, what the fuck, man? Where are his eyes? Why are the holes in where his eyes are supposed to be? That's, what the fuck, man? That's what I wonder. Where are his eyes? Is he murdered? Is he a corpse? Is he a BDSM corpse that was repurposed to be a reanimated corpse that spanks people with a goddamn whip? Like, damn, what the shit? Too far. Cause, it's a kid's game. It has no place to be there. If it wasn't a kid's game, then I'd say, yeah, fair game. But no. It's crazy that they got away with it. It's really crazy.
I only know Ryan's Toys Kids Review as the kids review channel that, makes blood diamonds worth of money monthly on YouTube. Apparently the guy has a game along with a myriad of other cheap Chinese shit his team produces. Listen, I don't hate the kid like many. I feel bad for him. Kind of, but he's also rich, so kind of fuck him. Anyway, in the
nah, come on, that's a kid. That's a kid, man. He did not choose any of that. His parents are at fault for anything related to that. Cut him some slack, man. Cut him some slack. He was just a kid. I don't know. He's probably not a kid anymore, right? But yeah, no. He did not choose to be rich. He just did what kids do: unpack, play, toy things, and for some reason, the parents decided to force him to show it on camera and all that stuff and unpack it on camera and shit like that. He did not choose that. It's not his fault. Come on, man. Come on. I forgot your name. Once again, Aceox cannot remember a goddamn name. But yeah, cut him some slack. Insert your channel name here. I handled it like a pro. High five, bitch!
Cheap, quick to market racing game. There's a pretty disturbing image of Ryan himself.
Oh yeah, I heard about that as well.
Of Ryan where he's happy, sad, and with his eyes closed. However, in
And
the fourth
dead.
image, we can see that
Yeah.
Ryan might have, taken a turn too quick and ended up in the ER.
This is...
Stitched eyes, blood seeping out. What happened to my boy?
I like these videos.
Yeah, someone got to that.
I know that's...
Paramedics and decided to try and fix Ryan up
That's
himself.
damn.
Yeah, he just stitched him right back up and boom.
That's kind of fucked up because
I'm
that's...
talking about. But yeah, this is
That's
an
a
image
kid,
that
man.
was officially in the Ryan Toys Review kart racer game. It's a bit odd, but honestly, if I was this third-party game dev getting paid and resealed toys to develop a game, I'd be adding shit like this left and right. You better believe it. You try to consume any little bit of Ryan's Toys reviews and tell me
I don't
what you
know.
think about doodling something up like this. Shout out to this game dev, dude. Keeping shit
Nah,
real.
come on.
I love you.
Come on, it's a kid. Chill. It's a kid, man. Not connected error?
There's something oh so eerie about the 4th and 5th generation console menus that creeped out so many people. If it wasn't the PS2 red screen of death, the other side of the spectrum was getting hit on the head with a piano. Literally. The Nintendo
Yeah.
GameCube had the ability to connect to the Game Boy Advance through an accessory known as the
Oh!
If
Oh
the
yeah, I remember that.
Game Boy player, say you're trying to launch a feature that uses the Game Boy player and it's not attached, you would be hit with this screen. Not only
Oh, that's... yeah.
it doesn't help that the mess
I never had the Game Boy player for at least the GameCube. I think I had it for the... Was it the Nintendo? Was it the Nintendo Entertainment System or the Super Nintendo? Which one had that? I think I had... No. I thought for a second I had it for the Nintendo 64, but no, I don't think that's a thing. But I had it for one of them. So yeah, but I didn't have it for the GameCube. So I've never experienced that, and I'm glad I never did because that shit actually sounds scary. It comes out of nowhere and it's like an actual jump scare. What the fuck were they thinking, man? That's no.
it seems urgent with a red background. Like, okay, I
Yeah, like
Game Boy player connected
fucking-
right now, GameCube.
an atom bomb is dropping.
This is
Here's the warning.
comments in regards to the screen. It seems like Nintendo put this in to scare kids into waking up their parents in the middle of the night when they're trying to do some midnight.
Ah.
I really don't know why the screen had to be so urgent and
Could
sudden.
be.
It caused many people to fear the screen. Hey, at least nobody ever forgot to plug in their Game Boy player again. But now every time I hear
Yeah.
a piano, I have a little bit of PTSD.
God damn it! I was taking a sip from my Coca-Cola. The shit. Gonna uncut bad ending.
I definitely played Lego Island when I was younger, as this is a core memory of mine. There's no way it's not.
Yeah.
I never got
I played it too, but
and I think I was really just entranced with the open world
it
aspect.
was a weird fever dream.
There's a story and objectives in the game, so if you happen to find your way to the ending of the game, there's a bad ending which can occur. You kind of have to really try and get this ending, as the game isn't super difficult, but if you don't end up catching Brickster, the enemy in the game, in time, a pretty eerie cutscene will play where it shows Lego Island going to hell in a handbasket and Brickster celebrating with glee. It's chaos and
What the fuck?
It really makes you feel like you fucked up and the villain won. It shows you what happens instead
What the hell?
of game over. Not many games do this. This was actually even a dialed back version of the cutscene, as in the game's files, there's an extended one where the main information center can be seen, lit ablaze on fire. This reminds me of the
What
game
the
over
fuck?
screen from Donkey Kong 64 or even Banjo-Kazooie, where, bad guy triumphant music plays while
Yeah, I know about that.
in Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong Island is blown to smithereens. In Banjo, your sister gets turned into an orc from Lord of the Rings. And in this game,
I like these
Lego
endings, but
by the top criminal mastermind
that's no.
eating, and it feels bad, man. But it taught a lot of kids some lessons. And that lesson is, don't let fucking Brickster get away, dude.
Yeah. Kill him if you have to, but don't let him get away.
While
Hidden dashboard sounds.
Xbox's home screen,
Yeah, okay. I already talked about that in
given
the
they
beginning,
don't
I
like
think.
idling. Many games and consoles have small.
It's weird. It's weird.
And if the players leave the consoles or.
But I think it also is kind of cool because that makes it unique. I think most of the dashboards, you know, in the PS2 and stuff like that, it was cool. But I think the Xbox had a much cooler one because it actually evolved. You know, at least sound-wise. You know, it changed shit like that. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. But yeah, I can only imagine what it must have felt like because I did not have an Xbox when it came out, the original one. What it must have felt like sitting there in the dark at night, I don't know, doing something before you, I don't know, play a game, and suddenly you hear these weird transmission noises and the computer talking and stuff like that. That must have been spooky, man. That must have been spooky. Spookity poopity. Indeed. I'm gonna take another short break. I'm pausing way too much. Shut the fuck up, AceoX. Editing this video is gonna be fucking painful with all your shitty jokes that don't land. Cause you can't joke. AceoX, huh? Who the fuck you think you are? Make funny jokes now. Jerk my dick like, ah! That's funny, right? Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Hashtag King of Comedy 2020. Hell yeah. That's me. In the far, far future, I'm gonna be considered the king of comedy. Hell yeah. I'll take a quick break. See you in a second. Alright, so I'm back. Let's finally finish this video and not yap endlessly. Like, goddamn, I really gotta reel in my penis sometimes. Give it a smack. Alright, let's talk about the Xbox Ghost.
Games themselves running, many of which are simple animations or audio cues. However, in the original Xbox's case,
hey, I just realized, Patrick, look up there. That's another hint. Look. You know, we've seen Patrick here in this studio a lot of times, pretty much I think since the beginning or almost the beginning, and he changed a little. Can you see the difference? Can you see what I added? That's right, I added the spaghetti, the avafangolo hands, and the Wish logo, cause this is Patrick Star from Wish. Hell yeah. Alright, now I pointed out everything I changed, so yeah, I spoiled your fun. Fuck you.
things get kind of disturbing. After idling on the main menu for long enough, the sounds that the Xbox starts to make on the main menu turn into weird radio transmission gibberish combined with weird ambient sounds. This is actually sourced from public access NASA clips from an Apollo mission, which is pretty cool. These clips were tweaked and included in the strange ambient track that was then layered below the main menu of the original Xbox. It's really unknown as to the reason why it was.
I think it's really cool.
Some funny stories of people who left their Xboxes on and it's, started to play this. I mean, put yourself in the scenario. It's 2 a.m. You accidentally leave your original Xbox on in the other room. Then suddenly you start hearing radio chatter akin to something you hear during one of the world wars. You're not gonna even think for a second that's not a ghost? Not me, man.
Nah, I wouldn't think it was a ghost. I thought it's a
Xbox with me, only to then think
alien transmission.
And only appearing in the form of ambient Xbox sounds. Leave my family alone, Xbox ghost.
The ghost of Bill Gates. Unused battle backgrounds.
The Mother series is one of the strangest RPG series on the market. I don't think I'm the first one to say that. Too bad we still haven't gotten that official US port of Mother 3 yet.
It's insane.
What's going on
insane.
What's going on? Hey, Chief, what's going on over there? Maybe we'll see a Mario RPG style remake come out one day for it, but I'm not holding my breath. I never played Mother 3, but I've experienced a decent bit of Earthbound.
Yeah,
so
I've never played these games, but I heard and seen a lot about them.
Disturbing things that weren't featured in the final game. This is mostly comprised of images of which were going to be used for battle backgrounds. There's actually a lot that went unused, and thanks to modders, we can even see what they may have looked like
so trippy
in the game itself. There's some strange sprites of the character Klaus, even one where it appears he's fully nude, but the most notable and the most creepy can be found at the bottom.
Yeah, apparently I saw what was the Did You Know Gaming talk about this, I think. They mentioned apparently dream stuff in Japanese folklore or something like that, or just general country lore. Apparently, in your sleep, you know, in your dreams, you're naked or something like that, and that's why they depict it like that. Which, yeah, explains that sort of stuff, but I still think it's weird. It's weird. Why doesn't he have a penis? Yeah? I mean, not that I need that. I don't want that, no. But I don't know. You could have added at least, you know, an additional pixel there, since, you know, it's a pixel art game. Just add a pixel. You don't even need to censor it, you know, because nudity, genitals have to be censored in Japanese media. You wouldn't even have to censor it because it is already pixelated. It's pixel, you know. It's just add a pixel and that's it. Okay, yeah. Apparently, there's a reason why they're depicted naked inside a dream world thing, because apparently that's a Japanese thing. I don't know why, but also, like, you know, before someone commits suicide, there's also this thing that they neatly place their shoes somewhere. So because they believe that if you die with your shoes on, you bring in dirt into the afterlife or something like that. So yeah, I find stuff like that quite interesting. You know, the cultural differences and the justifications and reasonings as to why it is that way, and I find it pretty cool, pretty interesting, pretty unique. But they did my man, whatever his name was, dirty by not giving him a pixel penis, because that way it looks like he has a penis so small that it's not even visible. And me having exactly that type of penis, I take big offense to that, because even if it's tiny, my tiny penis is still worth more than every human's life combined that ever existed in the history of humanity. It's more worth than that, so I take great offense to that. Fuck you.
The list. There's an image of a large red blob with beady eyes that to some seems like this game's version of a Gygas type character. However, this was confirmed to be untrue by a developer in an interview. Whatever this character was, he was definitely creepy and on the levels of a Gygas character.
Yeah, kind of strange.
You know, he looks a bit more cartoony than Gygas.
At least it's not a fetus like Gygas.
I would love for the dev team to fully lean into the disturbing aspects of these games and make a true hard JRPG classic.
Yeah. Alright, Get Out. I think that's the last one, right?
Kong 64 is a game. That's all, folks.
A game I never played.
It's a game that is good and bad at the same time. Many people don't like this game, but it holds a special place in my heart, and I love it. However,
alright, okay.
Without its disturbing moments. If it's not the threat of King K. Rool blowing up Donkey Kong's big-ass head the whole game, it'll likely be a random moment that happens during the second world of the game. Upon entering Angry Aztec,
second world,
find yourself walking
that early, okay.
Structures akin to pyramids. Once inside, there are usually a small puzzle or maze to navigate, and at the end of the maze, there is a golden banana for you to get. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well,
yeah.
As soon as you pick up the golden banana, a loud voice saying "Get out" can be heard before a reticle and timer appear on the screen. Without any explanation,
damn, okay.
Expected to race out of the same puzzle you just ran through before getting blasted by whatever godly entity whispered into your ear.
Alright, that's kind of creepy.
Saying it, and it kind of sounded like the same deep voice that was used for him, but I don't know. It could be someone even scarier than King K. Rool. I'd hope so, because this guy becomes a fucking chump pretty quickly in the end game. Look at this idiot. He gets defeated by titties. Anyway, this is one of the most terrifying things.
Oh, come on. We all get defeated by titties.
Going into these pyramids and fear that this guy was waiting to tell me to get out, only to fucking blast me in the face with some sort of fucking high-powered rifle he has.
God damn it.
All right, that wraps up this iceberg.
He's more brutal than me.
Iceberg, I will have it linked in the description below for you to check out. If you'd like to see my other iceberg videos,
alright,
playlist located down below as well. Thanks again for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Hell yeah, peace out, brother. Okay, and that's,
for watching the video, and I'll see you.
Yeah, that you saw on the screen for a brief second. I think that's the part 2 of the iceberg, apparently. So yeah, I like this video, so maybe we'll check out the part 2 as well and wrap up this iceberg thing. Yeah, good video, really good video. I yapped a lot, but that's always a good sign. That's, you know, if I yap a lot, then you know I'm really engaged. Even if I start talking about penises and anuses and hairy anuses, still a positive sign. So yeah, keep that in mind. If I don't talk a lot, then you're boring. Fuck you. No, but I talked a lot, but I really enjoyed the video. It was really well done. A lot of entries, and actually quite a lot I haven't known. That's always a pleasant surprise to me. I feel like I know everything before I even start watching the video, and it's you know, if the video is well done, it doesn't matter. But if it isn't, then yeah, I'm wasting my time, I feel like. And no, but this time it included a bunch of stuff I actually didn't know. That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, good job. Let me see your name real quick. Gambado Gaming. Wait, how did he say it in the beginning? Gambado? No, Gambado.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It is I, Gambado Gaming.
Yeah, Gambado. Gambado. Again, tell me again.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It is I, Gambado Gaming.
Gambado Gaming. There we go. Alright, Gambado Gaming. That was a really good video. I really liked it. Good job. You did a good job. Let me just go back here so the video is marked as finished later on. There we go. Yes, that's the good shit.
Nice.
There we go. Alright, so yeah, good video, good iceberg. I like iceberg stuff. I feel like I know most of them since I watched way too many videos on different icebergs, you know, different topics. So yeah, it is good to see that there's still some things I didn't know, and that gives me hope. Yeah, because iceberg fatigue is not setting in for me. I don't know why I keep watching shit like that and it doesn't get boring. I mean, that's a good thing for me, but yeah, but not for everyone else. Why? Because I said so. There's no other reason. No, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Definitely, if you enjoyed it as well, check out his other videos, and let's wrap this up. So, like always, go into the video description, click the first link in the video description under the credits tab to get to the original video by Gambado Gaming. Leave him a like, leave him a comment, tell him. Did you know that the penis of an iceberg is so deep in the ocean that we call it deep sea penisism? Hashtag the more you know. Hashtag penises for life. Tell him that. And obviously subscribe to him. Like I said, yeah, he deserves it. He made a good video. I really liked it. And check out his other stuff. And in my comment section down below, tell me what you want me to react to next. Maybe another video by him, maybe by someone else, about something else, for something else, whatever. Just tell me, but try to make it specific by, for example, giving me a title name or something, a video title. Because if it's about a topic I'm unfamiliar with, I don't know what to look out for, right? I don't know what's good and what isn't. And I'm speeding through this ending segment way faster than I should because I keep stumbling over my words, but I don't care. I like trying, pretending that I can speak really quickly, but I can't. Or I can pick out something myself, like I've been doing mostly on this channel so far. You know, I just pick out something random I think it looks or sounds interesting, and then just pray for the best. And so far, I'm having a really good track record when it comes to that. Or I can do both. Just let me know which one you prefer, and I'm happy to oblige either way. This has been the Small Penis Man. Small Penis Man out. Yeah, let me...
The cock-up breath. No. Out now. Buy it. Jizz on it.
I just wanted to let you know I'm calling to ask you about your car extended warranty. Yeah! I'm tired, even though I slept in today. I don't know why. Maybe because my penis is so small that it takes all the energy I have to sustain it. Makes sense, right? The smaller the penis, the more energy you need, because it zaps your energy like anus. Hell yeah. I'm gonna go eat now. Bye.